So growing up, I always had support from my loving parents, of course, and they raised me very Christian. Like, we always went to church every Sunday and whatnot. And I read the Word, I heard stories, and it all made sense a little bit. There was always something missing though. I never felt like I fully understood what I was learning. I never felt like it was all correct. And I mean, I grew up believing that the Word, the Bible, was completely correct. That there was no inconsistencies, that there was no like falseness in it. But I still didn't understand how it didn't line up with like science, or didn't line up with like how the world sees the world. And so I knew it was true, but I didn't know how to prove it, and I was too afraid to ask questions, because if I asked questions and no one had answers, how was I supposed to continue believing? So that really was tough for me, and it made me kind of distance myself from the faith, right? And then while I was actually on study abroad in Japan, I met these guys that had studied Providence, and so I met with them. I started studying, doing Bible studies and whatnot, and it really, for the first time ever, I felt like there was real truth in the Bible. I felt like I understood the truth of the Bible. It wasn't just like me trying to convince myself or convince others that I knew. Like when people would ask me, "Oh, was it true that Adam was truly the first man in the whole world, and then Eve, his wife, was taken from his rib, and then like they did incest, and then they made all of humanity?" Like, how am I supposed to answer that? Because I didn't know. But as I studied, it truly showed me the truth that was in it. That the Bible is not wrong. It's our perception of what happens in the Bible that was wrong. And so I wanted to change that. I wanted to learn correctly. And so that's kind of where I had my focus. And truly, as a result of that, I really was able to change my heart. Because before, I had believed but didn't know why. And because of that, I had lived really recklessly. I had just lived how I wanted to live, because I wasn't going to understand the Bible. And, I mean, no one was going to tell me how to understand it properly. So why not just live how I want? That's how I thought. But after truly learning properly, I was able to change my heart, change how I lived, and really, in a way, live for something, Live for something that I knew I believed, and now I was able to understand. And once I had that feeling of, like, really understanding and being able to apply it to my life and really basically change how I live, raise the level of how I live, I couldn't go back. I didn't want to go back to kind of, in a way, blinding myself to the truth, So yeah, that's why I chose Providence. I think the greatest thing about sensing him is how much he cares, Sensing him is one of the first people I've ever met, the only first people that I've ever heard of, that has truly loved and cared for every single person, no matter who they are, no matter what they've been through. He's really cared from the bottom of his heart just for that person, He hasn't cared because he wanted to receive love from them, or because he thought he would look good, like being helpful or being nice. But he truly has sacrificed so much, and is pushed to learn the Word so much so that we can all understand properly. And that's just really amazing to me, The greatest thing about Providence is how it can really change people's lives, really. That sounds kind of vague, I guess, so I'll explain a little more. So before I came to Providence, again, as I said before, I lived really recklessly. I grew up believing that, Jesus died on the cross for my sins, so no matter what I do, I'm okay, because as long as I say I believe, then it's fine, But that was a horribly ignorant and selfish way of thinking about it, Because, I mean, you have to think of it not just in terms of physical, You have to think of it in terms of spiritual. So, like, when people say, "Oh yeah, Jesus died for my sins, so I'll do whatever," you have to think about how that's affecting their spirit, Like in the same way that, like, we, like, eat, we drink, we sleep, we shower, we clean ourselves, there's the same exact kind of things for the spirit. And so, the spirit's way of eating is reading the Word, reading the Bible, whatnot, The Spirit's way of, cleaning themselves, like taking a shower, is repenting. The Spirit's way of, like, really breathing, and living is through, like, prayer, Incorporating that into your life changes so much, because you can no longer be so selfish. You can no longer be ignorant. You want to know the truth. You want to be able to change your life so that you can live properly, And, when people realize that, they really change their heart. Like, me from a year ago was completely different from who I am now. Completely different. I was terrible, honestly. I don't want to go into too much about it, but I was not a not a very religious person. I didn't even really care about my friends, because I was so used to that selfish mindset. That got all the way deep into my heart and almost ruined a lot of my friendships. So, but I was able to truly change as a result of learning properly. And when I came to Providence, I met all these incredible people that really have that same heart, that really want to know properly and want to continue to grow and become better and truly live for God. And that's not a group of people you're going to find anywhere, To really have that kind of really pure heart. I mean, I wouldn't trade them for the world. It's almost like a family. They're always there. They always want to help. They always want to show God's love. They always want to do everything for, to help you. And that's more kindness than I think I've ever been able to feel in my life. So, yeah. I'd say don't be afraid to ask. Because if you don't ask, then you never know properly, And even in the Bible, there's a verse that says, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door will be opened unto you, basically. So, it's basically in the Bible telling you, ask, seek, knock, look for the answers. But so many people are afraid, because if they look for it and they don't find it, they won't know what to do. But don't give up. Keep searching. Pray. In your heart, really search for it. And I have a feeling that you'll be able to find it.